Welcome to The Mental Fight, a safe place to ignite hope and peace, where we talk all about our feelings, even in the depths of life's curveballs. Regardless of the season you are in, you are worthy, safe, heard, and loved. Together and with God, we can overcome and embrace our next joyful steps. One day at a time. Let's get started. Welcome, and I am so glad you're here with me today. Today, I want to talk about something that's it's been on my mind a lot lately. And it's kind of just been a theme throughout my life, if I'm being honest, and something I've had to deal with a lot, whether it's personally or professionally or just everything in between. I mean, oh my gosh, we go through all types of failure, whether it comes from jobs, career, money, relationships, like what God hasn't blessed us with yet, and even just all the hurt we've experienced, everything that has set us back, and even seeing others flourish. I mean, it could be in a lot of different things and heavy things, emotional things, things that trigger us, things that make us feel a lot of things. And we may have a lot of hurt deep within our hearts and souls that have collected over the years. And eventually, all that hurt and all the no's and all the letdowns and all the possibilities that were cut short turns into like, wow, I guess I am just a failure then. Feeling like we're failures because our bodies fail us, our minds fail us. We're human, so we're not perfect. Or, oh my gosh, I made a mistake right there again. We let someone else down or ourselves down, and there's different degrees of failures or what we think are failures. And we often put a lot of pressure on ourselves, first and foremost. And I think that's what a lot of it stems from, a lot of times, anyway. And it could just also be that you're struggling. Maybe you're struggling with alcohol or lying or just any little thing or any large thing. We got off the wagon one way or another. But here is an important distinction. While we may have quote unquote failures in life, you are not a failure. You are not a failure. That's not your identity, and it doesn't mean good things won't happen to you in the future. Like, let's be honest, no one likes feeling like a failure. It's uncomfortable, it's hurtful. It can really mess up our self-esteem and self-worth. We try to avoid it. But here's the truth. You are worthy and loved by God, period. You are a child of God, and failure, again, is not your identity. Even if you've believed that lie your whole entire life, I want you to unleash that lie from your mind. So take a moment to really reflect. Are you still believing those lies? Do you think you're a failure? Now be honest. If we can't be honest with ourselves, what are we doing? I think for many of us, we were modeled or taught negative ways of thinking or behaviors, and perhaps, even jumping to conclusions naturally or automatically giving ourselves labels. Or maybe other people gave us those labels. Now, I still have many moments that I feel like a failure, and that word failure just plagues my mind. And I have to work on it like almost daily, in one way or another. So if that resonates with you listening right now, you're not alone. I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this episode now is that it's just also very timely. I've been in a season where I've battled those very real thoughts. Like, I should be growing. I should be doing X, Y, and Z, or I should be further along. But I also know that those thoughts are just thoughts. And seeing others succeed and live their lives and doing things that we would want to do, like, doesn't mean I'm failing. And seeing other people, it doesn't mean that I'm not living my own life. It just looks different right now. All our lives are so different. And probably more times than I even realize, failure creeps its way in. And like even just the road to our dreams and goals and aspirations, like we have many, many, many failures or mistakes in between. Like years of failures and failures that no one else may even see. But we know, and that does not mean we're failing. It just means that we're on the journey and we're learning and growing and evolving like we should. If we're not trying, we're not growing, and we're not learning. And failure is just a part of that. Like we can still pray that we're still doing good work, even in the behind the scenes moments that no one sees. We're doing work that matters and that we're doing our best. We are doing our best. And we're not going to be perfect. Like doing our best means even in our humanness, we won't ever be perfect. And we need to forever be dependent on God. I mean, I think failure keeps us humble and it breaks us so much. It breaks us, but it also strengthens us. And failure molds us to hopefully become better and teaches us in whatever way in our next steps. I think failure just means that we're trying. We're trying. But again, just because you feel like you failed doesn't mean you have failed. And it doesn't mean you're a failure. You're not a failure of a human or even a disappointment, no matter how strongly you feel that way sometimes. It's how we rise up, and it's how we persevere when things are hard and messy and unpredictable. And it's how we trust God in the midst that matters. We can take what we've learned and gone through to rebuild rather than tear down. And it's hard. It could be so hard. Overcoming lies, of decades of lies, the daily lies that always pop up randomly that just may be ingrained in us, in our heads. But today can be a fresh start. You can start fresh any day. You don't have to wait till Monday or the next season or the next year. You can start today. And I think for someone who has believed that she was a failure for like most of her life, honestly, in some way, shape, or form, I can tell you it's a truly a daily reminder and a daily practice. Like failure keeps us stuck, and that's what I've learned. And I don't want us or you, I don't want you to be stuck. But here's the thing, the big thing. God doesn't think you're a failure. He has big plans for you, and he's not done with you. And he doesn't need your perfection. He needs your heart. And that is something that I've wrestled with my entire life. I thought I had to be perfect for God to see me or love me or hear me or accept me. But that's not true. So be strong, be courageous. Do not fear failure. Keep going, keep trusting, and just lock your eyes on that and lock your eyes on Him. Your past doesn't have to be your future. It's not going to be your future. And the thoughts you had, the experiences you've had, make up who you are. That's very, very true. But more than anything, I pray that you go from feeling like a victim to victory. I pray that your pain becomes purpose. And that doesn't mean we're going to be 100% healed. But show up authentically who you are and don't be ashamed. I also pray that your anxiety turns to stillness. And for today, at least, remind yourself that you have gifts. You do. You have gifts. And you're still loved by God. You're still loved. You are not a failure. You're not a failure if you're in a waiting season. You're not a failure if you've had or are dealing with chronic conditions, anxiety, depression, anything mental, physical. You are not a failure. You're not a failure if you've had a lot of trauma and bad experiences, or even mistakes you've made, or things you couldn't control, things you have controlled. Like, regardless, you are not a failure. And you're not a failure if something wasn't meant for you, but you tried, or if other people didn't see your potential, or even if you're not great at something. I do believe that we all have unique dreams and drive for a reason. And that's part of why I do what I do, because my whole life I felt like I was nothing. And I always had different dreams in my head and ambitions. And I'm like, well, maybe those are for a reason. So lean into that. Lean into your gut intuition and your gut intuition that comes from God. And I do believe that there's glimpses of goodness still, even in the hard, even in the sick, even for the days that you can't function. Like, we have to find simple joys every day and just the glimpses of goodness. Even if you just look outside and be like, wow, the sun is shining. That's one thing. One thing. And, something outside of yourself, pray for a friend, pray for others when you're going through a really hard time. A friend just reminded me of that. Help others. And then you'll ultimately help yourself too. Like getting outside of your own head and focusing on other things that can help others and serve others. Feed that part of you. I just think that our feelings of failure come and go randomly every day, hour by hour. They can come up at any time, and we can also let them come. Like we shouldn't ignore them. We can let those feelings come as they come and do it bravely. Like thank goodness that our identity is in Christ and that we know that now, and let Him shape your thoughts and beliefs. And I think when we really have that true solid foundation to fall back on, when the world breaks us down and tells us otherwise, I think that that's the strongest weapon we can have. I think back in the day, if you told me, like, what's your identity? I'd be like, well, I'm shy. Or just my identity would be in my job or what I like to do, or like just, those kind of things. But now I see it's a totally different ball game. It's a better ball game. It's so real. And failure doesn't have to overcome our spiraling thoughts. We can have those spiraling thoughts, but again, we don't have to let them muster and bloom and take over our souls. Not anymore. Not today. I pray this episode encouraged you and blessed you. And if so, I would be so grateful for a 5-star review. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week.